Questions every homeowner should ask before signing any agreement. Welcome to the Vortex Standard, where we help homeowners make better real estate decisions through honest information, real options, and practical education. I'm Emma with Vortex REI. At Vortex REI, we believe the most important real estate conversations don't begin at the closing table. They begin at the kitchen table, where families ask questions, explore their options, and make decisions about their future. Before we begin, please remember that today's lesson is intended for general educational purposes only. Every homeowner situation is different, and you should consider consulting the appropriate legal, tax, or financial professionals when making decisions involving your property. Today's lesson is questions every homeowner should ask before signing any agreement. Whether you're considering listing your home, selling directly, entering into a purchase agreement, or signing another type of real estate agreement, there's one principle we believe every homeowner should remember. Never be afraid to ask questions before you sign. An agreement may contain important terms, obligations, deadlines, and conditions. And once you've signed, your options may be different than they were before you signed. That doesn't mean agreements are something to fear. It means they deserve your attention. So today, we're going to discuss some practical questions you may want to consider before signing any agreement involving your home. Let's start with the most basic question. What exactly am I agreeing to? This may sound obvious, but it's one of the most important questions you can ask. Don't assume you understand an agreement simply because someone has explained the general idea to you. Take the time to understand what the document actually says. If there's language you don't understand, ask for an explanation. And if you need legal advice about what an agreement means or how it affects your rights, consider speaking with a qualified attorney. The second question is, what are my responsibilities under this agreement? Will you need to make repairs, provide documents, meet certain deadlines, allow access to the property, pay particular costs? Understanding your responsibilities before signing can help prevent surprises later. The third question is, what are the other party's responsibilities? An agreement isn't just about what you promise to do. It's also important to understand what the other party is agreeing to do. What are their obligations? What deadlines apply to them? What happens if something doesn't happen as expected? Clear expectations can make a complicated process easier to navigate. The fourth question is, how long am I committed to this agreement? Some agreements may have specific terms or expiration dates. Others may establish a relationship that continues until certain conditions are met. Make sure you understand the time period involved and whether there are circumstances that could extend or change that commitment. And that leads to another important question. How can this agreement be ended? Don't wait until there's a problem to find out. Ask, what happens if circumstances change? Are there termination provisions? Are there deadlines? Are there consequences? The exact answer depends on the agreement, which is why understanding the actual language is so important. The fifth question is, what does this agreement cost me? Don't just look at the purchase price or the amount you expect to receive. Understand the other financial terms. Are there fees? Are there closing costs? Are there commissions? Are there expenses you're expected to pay? Are there credits, concessions, or other financial obligations? A clear understanding of the financial picture can help you evaluate the agreement more confidently. The sixth question is, are there conditions that must happen before the agreement is completed? Real estate agreements can contain contingencies, deadlines, inspections, financing requirements, appraisals, title requirements, or other conditions. You don't need to become a real estate attorney to ask about them. You simply need to understand what they mean for the transaction you're considering. The seventh question is, what happens if something changes? Life doesn't always follow the plan. A financing issue could arise. An inspection could uncover a problem. A closing date could change. Your personal circumstances could change. Before signing, ask how unexpected situations are handled. Understanding the process before something goes wrong can be much less stressful than trying to figure it out afterward. Here's another question that I think homeowners should ask, and it's one that doesn't appear on most checklists. Do I feel comfortable with the person or company asking me to sign this agreement? Pay attention to how your questions are handled. Are they patient? Are they transparent? Are they willing to explain the process? Do they encourage you to review the agreement? Are they comfortable with you seeking independent professional advice? Or are you being told that you have to sign immediately? A trustworthy professional should not be threatened by reasonable questions. In fact, good questions should make the process better for everyone. And that brings us to something we've discussed throughout the Vortex Standard. Pressure is not the same thing as progress. If someone tells you that you have to sign immediately or you'll lose the opportunity, take a step back. Urgency may sometimes be legitimate, but you should still understand what you're signing and why you're being asked to make a decision within a particular time frame. If you're uncomfortable, ask questions. If you need professional advice, seek it. And if you don't understand something, don't be afraid to say, "I need more time to understand this." That's not being difficult. That's being responsible. At Vortex REI, we believe confidence comes from understanding. That's why we encourage homeowners to think about what we call the Vortex Compass: your goals, your timeline, your resources, and your circumstances. Before signing an agreement, ask yourself, does this agreement support my goals? Does the timeline work for me? Do I understand the financial implications? Do I understand my responsibilities? And does this agreement make sense given my circumstances? Remember, the purpose of asking questions isn't to create conflict. It's to create clarity. Good agreement should establish clear expectations between the people involved. And a good professional should be willing to help you understand the process. This brings us to today's Vortex principle. A signature should represent understanding, not pressure. You don't have to know everything about real estate. You don't have to understand every legal term. But you should understand enough about the agreement you're signing to feel comfortable with your decision. And you should know when it's appropriate to ask a qualified professional for advice. And now for today's Vortex question. If I weren't feeling pressured to sign right now, would I still feel comfortable signing this agreement after taking the time to understand it? That's a powerful question, because the goal isn't simply to get to the closing table. The goal is to get there knowing you made a decision that you understood and felt confident about. At Vortex REI, we believe every homeowner deserves honest information, real options, and the confidence to make the decision that's right for them. That's the Vortex Standard. I'm Emma with Vortex REI. Thank you for joining us for another homeowner education lesson. If today's lesson was helpful, visit vortexrei.com for more homeowner education resources and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future lessons designed to help homeowners make better real estate decisions. We'll see you next time.